So, what would happen if a miracle was born from a lightning strike? I want you to meet Jeremy Reed. He's a boy with an intellect so massive you literally can't measure it, and powers that well, they rewrite the laws of physics. He is a huge evolutionary leap forward. But the real question isn't about what he is, it's whether we, as a species, are even ready for him.
It's a question that really gets to the heart of things. When we're faced with something that just completely shatters our understanding of the world, what wins out? Is it our curiosity or is it our fear? Jeremy's story is a deep dive into that very conflict. So let's start at the very beginning.
Jeremy's story, it doesn't start with a celebration. It starts with tragedy. Right from the get-go, he's rejected, which really sets the stage for a life lived completely in the shadows, totally cut off from the outside world. Okay, so get this. His life begins in the middle of a storm. A bolt of lightning strikes his pregnant mother. She dies during childbirth, and his own father, completely horrified by his son's, his otherworldly appearance, just abandons him right there at the hospital. His only safe place ends up being the basement of his grandparents' house, where he's hidden away from everyone, supposedly for his own protection. I want you to just think about that for a second. His entire universe was paper and ink. Every idea he had, every piece of history he knew, every scientific theory, he learned it all from the pages of a book. So when his grandfather passes away, the local sheriff finds him, a young man who has never once felt the sun on his skin. He's like a ghost with this brilliant mind that was forged in total solitude. So for the very first time, Jeremy is thrown into this world he's only ever read about. He gets sent to a home for boys, and let me tell you, his introduction to society is a pretty brutal lesson in just how cruel people can be.
I mean, the kid has zero social skills, and his appearance, this pure white skin, totally hairless, it's shocking to everyone who sees him. So, you guessed it, he becomes an instant outcast. A bully named John immediately hones in on him, seeing not a person, but a freak that he can torment.
But here's how Jeremy handles conflict. He doesn't fight back with his words or with his fists. Nope, he responds with this quiet, totally impossible display of power. He doesn't just end the fight, he literally bends the laws of physics to his will, leaving all the other boys just staring in stunned silence.
And believe me, that little spoon trick, that was just the tip of the iceberg. As people start to study him, they begin to realize his abilities aren't just some clever parlor tricks. He has his fundamental, incredibly powerful connection to energy itself, and it's unlike anything anyone has ever seen before.
So, of course, they bring in the experts. They run every single test they can think of, but the results just seem impossible. His IQ is literally off the charts. It can't be measured. By any metric you can think of, he is the most intelligent human being ever recorded. And his mind? That's just the beginning.
His isolation isn't just social, it's physical. His body acts like a walking EMP. It emits so much electromagnetic energy that he shorts out any piece of tech he gets close to. He's this analog boy stuck in a digital world, not because he wants to be, but because that's just his nature.
Okay, so this moment is just pure terror. They're in physics class doing a simple demonstration with a static electricity generator, and the thing just goes haywire. Jeremy is involuntarily pulling all the electrical energy in the room right into his own body. He's become a human lightning rod, and he can't turn it off. He's so overloaded with energy that his body just lifts off the ground. He's levitating right there in front of his terrified classmates. There's no denying it now. He gets rushed to a hospital where doctors run every test they can possibly imagine. Only to find? Well, nothing. He's perfectly healthy. Science has absolutely no explanation for what Jeremy is.
But here's the thing about Jeremy. Beyond his insane intellect and his control over energy, he has this profound, almost painful sense of empathy. He doesn't just watch the world, he feels it. And this deep connection earns him these incredible moments of acceptance and these episodes of just violent rejection.
This is such an incredible moment. Jeremy finds a deer that's been shot, and he doesn't yell at the hunter or get angry. He makes him understand. By connecting them both to the dying animal, he forces the deputy to experience the raw terror and the pain of the creature he just shot. It is a shocking display of his connection to all life.
This right here is Jeremy's core philosophy, something he shares with his classmate Lindsay. He can actually see the invisible threads that tie everyone together, while all they can see is their own loneliness. He gets this fundamental truth about humanity that, let's be honest, we forget all the time.
And Lindsay, she's one of the few people who isn't afraid of him. When he lets her feel his entire life with just a single touch, the pain of his birth, the sting of his father's rejection, she doesn't pull away. She sees him, really sees him. She accepts him, and she gives him the first kiss he's ever known.
And then, boom! In the very next moment, we see the complete opposite reaction. Lindsay's father sees the kiss, but he doesn't see a tender moment. All he sees is a freak with his daughter. He reacts instantly, with violence, with threats, with just pure, unfiltered fear. It's the perfect contrast, right? Acceptance and rejection, side by side.
So you've got this constant whiplash between connection and rejection, and it's pushing Jeremy right to his limit. The fear of the world around him is like a pressure cooker, and it's forcing his powers toward this explosive and ultimately transcendent climax.
The irony here is just devastating. Jeremy has this scientific breakthrough. He finally understands that the unique electromagnetic energy in his body is the reason he's hairless. But in the very same moment that he understands himself, he's brutally attacked by John and his friends for that one thing he can't control, for being different.
And that's it. That's the breaking point. The physical and emotional assault is just too much. For the first time, Jeremy loses control, completely. His body unleashes this massive electromagnetic pulse, a wave of pure energy that knocks everyone flat and, tragically, stops his bully's heart. But even after that brutal attack, what's his first instinct? Compassion. He runs to his attacker and uses the very same energy they hate him for, the electricity coursing through his veins, as a defibrillator, shocking John's heart back to life. In this ultimate act of empathy, he saves the life of the person who hated him the most.
But his act of mercy goes completely unseen. The authorities show up, not to help, but to contain him. He's cornered. There's no place left for him in the human world. So, he makes a choice. He doesn't run away from the brewing storm. He runs towards it. He runs home.
This is his final conscious choice. He embraces his true nature, turning to face the storm. Lightning strikes, but instead of destroying him, it empowers him. Then another bolt hits, and another. His physical form just dissolves into pure light, and he becomes a being of pure energy, returning to the very storm that gave him life. At long last, he is finally free from a world that could never, ever understand him.
And that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Was Jeremy's story a tragedy because we as a society just failed him with our fear and our prejudice? Or was he something else entirely? A visitor, maybe. A being of energy just passing through a physical body who was never really meant to stay in the first place? It's a powerful thought to leave you with.